you know, God really did create us to have a rich, full, and abundant life. And Bonnie St. John, she is living her joy, and she's going to help empower us to live our joy too. You got to leave us with some tools, and then tell us about some really great giveaways you have for our viewers.
Well, before you do that though, because
yes, go ahead.
We got a shot at the shoes, and you're wearing this beautiful necklace and earrings, and you say that there's a joy story attached to that.
I have to say, sadly, I am divorced and I'm a single mom, but he remarried, and his new wife made this necklace for me. And she especially thought about what colors I would like and what would look good on me. And when I think about that, I think there's hope for peace on earth. So when I wear my necklace, I get so much joy out of that, about being able to find peace and forgiveness.
You know, that's the miracle. Yeah. In the midst of sorrow and hard things and what seems like failure, that God will intervene and raise up.
If we, and that's what this is all about, is how do we reach out to be part of that process? Because we can do a lot of things that sabotage that process. You know, and just in our own pain, in our own grief, we can turn away.
Right. You know, in the intro, Deborah talked about the joy stealers. What are some of those things that steal the joy right out of our lives?
You know, one of the biggest things for me is just being busy. And it's so insidious, isn't it? We get busy with our children. I was telling you, I've got to talk to the orchestra leader and this teacher and that. And I get busy, and I have to do, and I make lists. Do you all make lists? I have my lists have lists, right? And I realized one day there's no room for joy on those lists. And I thought, what if I put to feel items on my to-do list? So she's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And in the midst of a busy day, if you had an item on your schedule that said, go outside and feel sunshine on my face, or look at the sky, or put 5 minutes on there to think about how much your children love you or how much you love your parents. And just to stop, and if you could do that 3 times a day just for a few minutes, it changes your health, it changes your outlook, you know, and taking 5 minutes to pray. And if you could put that into your to-do list and put it on your schedule, because problems make time. You know, problems grab you by the neck, but joy doesn't grab your time.
Now that's funny, because I was listening to some of the things on the list, and they sound so good, and I could see myself going, but I don't got time to do that. but you have to actually make the time if you want to find that kind of joy, don't you?
So busyness is a joy stealer.
Right.
And it's so easy, because it's easy to think about negative people, you know, and we know the big joy stealers, but that is they're constantly stealing our joy.
And also, how do you treat the top of the day? And this gratitude. What does gratitude have to do with all this?
Oh, absolutely. Gratitude is something you can put on your to-feel list, too. And we've talked a lot about that. It just can transform the whole way you speak. I work with an agency that books me for speaking, and I set up a system for them to do appreciation trophies for each other every month, because I know gratitude is such a powerful transformer. So they have a trophy that they get to award to another person every month.
Right. Now, you also have a Joy First Aid Kit. Did you bring it?
I didn't bring my Joy First Aid Kit, but you can see a picture of it on my website. It's the idea is that you know you're going to have ups and downs. Like I know, you know that you're going to have bad days. And so when you're not having a bad day, get together a bag or a basket and put some things in it that you know will cheer you up. So for me, chocolate is essential. Chocolate's in there. And I have my Donnie McClurkin CD with We Fall Down, We Get Up. And I have my Bible in there. And I have a note from my mother who passed away 2 years ago that says, be happy. And a couple of baby pictures of my daughter. And things that just, I look at it and it automatically brings a smile to my face. People have been sending me notes telling me what's in their joy kit. And it's so wonderful because they're so personal that for different people, it's, you know, sand from a beach where they went on vacation with their husband or, you know, just whatever is going to immediately give you that jolt of joy.
Right.
And you will forget all about it until the day you need it and you open it up and you just get that joy back.
How do you raise joyful children?
I think the most important thing is you have to be an example. And that if you are doing the work, they will see that. They will see that, you know, I can have a bad day, but I'll turn it around. Something I really appreciate with me and my daughter is that we'll communicate about it. We'll say, I'm having a bad day. I'm sorry. You know, I'm really grumpy. And, you know, and the other person will say, that's okay, you know, and we'll work around it. But instead of just, you know, you admit what you're doing and that you're having a hard day, and then the other person can help you and you can help yourself. And if you can be that example, then they can follow.
What would you say to someone today watching who kind of feel, when it comes to joy, that old saying, you know, I've fallen and I can't get up? somehow along life they seem to have lost their joy, and whatever they've tried to do, they just can't seem to get it back. What would you say to them about trying to regain the joy in their life?
Well, if it is a serious medical issue, that is something that needs to be looked at. I had a dear friend from college who killed himself, and there was nothing wrong in his life. He had a beautiful wife, a wonderful job, very successful, and that's when I realized that's really a disease. That's a medical condition. So be careful of that. I think we can often just say, oh, you know, be joyful, but if you need to see a doctor, you need to see a doctor. But also surrounding yourself with friends, getting help, having conversations. Sometimes when we're down, we shut ourselves off from everyone. And that's one of the things we talk about in the devotional, too, is friendship. And we were designed, God says we're designed to connect with one another, to love one another, and not to shut down and disconnect.
Tell us a little more about the devotional.
I'm so happy because the book, Live Your Joy, goes through a lot of things, stories that I learned about how to be joyful, and it talks a little bit about my faith. But the devotional, which is free online, you can download it from my website, goes deep. It goes into scripture, it goes into discussion and questions, and it goes chapter by chapter with the book. And you can do it with a prayer partner, you can do it with a small group, you can even do it by yourself if you want, and pray through it.
You know, you refer to Girl Gang, that you made it through, you know, some tough colleges with your Girl Gang, and so really community's been a big part, from the church to your Girl Gang to your modern community.
This is a really funny thing for me because of the sexual abuse in my childhood, I really wasn't good at friends. I was really shut down emotionally and disconnected for many, many, many years, really into my 30s. And so the Girl Gang, you're talking about the story I told in college, they had to come after me and they had to hang on to me, and, you know, really made such a difference for me. And then as I've gotten older, I've gotten more right with God, and through prayer, I've gotten strengthened in that. And now I'm even friends with Stefan's parents. I know.
That's awesome.
And I go and I have breakfast at their inn, and I go to their church, and I make friends more naturally now. And that is such a gift of God. For me, I had to overcome so much to get to that point where I could really connect with people and have that joy. So I had to earn that one.
That's great.
And the role that prayer has played in all of this, because you have a whole book that you've written about prayer.
My last book, when I was here 2 years ago, was for How Strong Women Pray. And that's what saved me, because I was down in a really deep hole when I had my daughter, and she was the same age I was when I was abused. That was a hole I fell into. I thought I couldn't get out, and really had to reach out to God through prayer to find love again, to find healing, and to find that strength to have joy. So the next step I get from prayer to joy.
Listen, Bonnie St. John, Live Your Joy is a wonderful book, but you can go to her website and you can get this free.
You can start there if you want to start with the free devotional, and then get the book if you need to. But we just want you to have joy and prayer, and I want everybody to have it.
Matter of fact, pass it along.
Kelly's got dibs on it.
Thank you. I'm so excited about the devotional because it's a chance for people to really go deep and explore their relationship with God and joy. And for new people who haven't been in church and haven't been around God as much, what a great place to start is with joy.
That's right. Wonderful, guys. Listen, connect with Bonnie. Visit us at harvest-tv.com. Click on Show Info on the menu bar and find an easy way to link to her website. Get this devotional. Go through it. We're going to be right back with more.